Hey guys, welcome to part 10 of Building Imperial Shipyards in Lego. So we are chugging right along in the series. As you guys know, in the last part we got phase 1 done. So now we're starting to get into the second phase, which I'm extremely happy to get on with that, because phase 1 was taking a very long time to build, as well as it was eating my parts collection up. And the good thing about phase 2 is I don't think it's really going to kill my parts as bad as phase 1 did. I think filler's still going to be bad, probably even worse. But I think in terms of actual detailed parts like dark bluish gray bricks, which I'm using a lot in this mock, as well as greeble parts and just other detail type stuff, I don't think it's really going to take that much of parts anymore. Which I'm going to talk about more later on the video when we actually get more in depth with it. But yeah, guys, part 10, it's crazy that we're here. I would say that we're almost about halfway done with the series. I'd say we're about 40% to about 45% done with the mock. Today's a pretty big update because this is where we're starting on phase 2. So it's a pretty big update. It's pretty much laying out the whole foundation of phase 2. Now, the whole thing is not in just quite yet, but I did get a lot done in this video. We got a time lapse today. So I'm going to be showing you guys that actually firsthand of me building. Actually going to be showing me building, so that's really fun and that's going to be awesome. So you guys are actually going to see me pretty much laying out the first additions to phase 2 within the mock. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright guys, so let's go ahead and dive into looking at the mock. First off, we're going to take a look at some of the new additions to the mock, and then later on in the video, I'm going to actually build this up, and I'm going to talk about this in a second. Pretty much all I did off camera was I extended this out. If you guys remember in the last episode, there was like four studs left on this base plate that I had to do, and I pretty much did that off camera, so not much to really talk about here. If you guys remember in the video, I said that I had like 97% done with phase 1, and there was only like 3% left that I had to do. So pretty much all I did was I finished off the greebles here that I was talking about in the last video, again, as well as extending this out and finishing off the top part here. So now phase 1 is 100% done. I think the only thing I have to do left is bring some dark bluish gray brick up here, but that's about it. Everything is pretty much done with phase 1, so I'm extremely happy about that phase 1 is pretty much at its entirety complete, and now I can finally start with phase 2. So bringing me to that, phase 2, we've got here, I've already added in what you can see, some of the structure, and I wanted to get some of the kind of like base of the phase 2 structure in off camera, just so it'd be an easier transition of me actually building it for you guys on camera. So that's why some of it is already built, but we're just going to talk a little bit about the overall design. I wanted to go with something a little bit more different from phase 1. If you notice, phase 1 has got, you know, a ton of greebles and details on it. I kind of want to change it up with phase 2, where it's just kind of straightforward, where the structure kind of speaks for itself. So I'm running up like these sloped columns. They're going to go about, you know, a good portion up the wall, and then it's going to eventually transition into the wall, which the wall is going to be here, and this is going to just go straight up. And the details on it is not going to be entirely crazy. All I'm going to do is just use these grill pieces that I have here, and I'm going to space them up. And then eventually when I get to about this level here, almost the same level as these hangers here, it's going to be pretty much a big, giant command center that's going to run all the way across, and it's going to look just like the command center there in the middle, but it's going to be bigger, if that makes any sense. And it's also going to be higher up. So I'm really low on filler parts, so I'm probably not going to get into too much the filler today. Mainly what I'm going to focus on is really just building up this wall. That's what I would like to do. I'm probably not going to build it all the way up today, but I'm going to try to utilize all my dark bluish gray brick in this video today. I'm confident that I can get a good portion and chunk of it done in this video. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to time lapse me building this up, and hopefully we get, you know, a lot of progress. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into that. All right, guys, so after a few hours, finally got what I wanted to get done in this video. I didn't want to get too much done, but I think I got a lot of progress done, as you can see already. What's at the back of the mock. So obviously that's what we built today, and I am really pleased with it. By the way, I did move the star destroyer over just so you can kind of see the wall a little bit better, because when it was here, it was very, very hard to kind of get a view of that wall. It was getting very overshadowed. And that also another reason why I'm also partially not putting just a ton of detail into that wall, because you're not really going to be able to see it anyways, only from a few angles. So, you know, why just throw so many parts at it? But I like the simplicity look of the wall. We'll get another look of it over here. You can see, you know, this is what I was talking about, how the slopes will run into the wall. Now, originally the idea was the slope was actually going to run into this back brick, but I made a change as I was building, and I like the idea of having like this kind of coming out a little bit, where, I don't know, it just gives kind of the wall a little bit more texture. I feel like it would have looked kind of, I don't know, crappy if if I had the slopes run into the actual wall itself. So I think that was a good decision to do. Another thing that I did off camera, and you may not have noticed it at first glance, probably did, but I cleaned off this entire table. There's not a, well, I mean, there is some parts on it, but it's basically entirely, you know, fully cleaned off. And the reason why I did it was because the parts that I had on the table, I don't really need them as a necessity anymore. They're not really essential at this point anymore, because most of the parts were like greeble parts, or parts that I just used a long time ago and later on in the build. So I put them in the bin up there, if you see where my finger's pointing at. So they're all those parts I put in bags, and I put them in one bin. So that's where all the parts are at. So I still have the parts, and they're still, you know, close by. They're just not thrown about, and, you know, the table's not all messy anymore because I put them all in bags. Clean up the whole table. Feeling good about myself because of that, because this table has been a disaster ever since part 1. So I'm extremely happy. I'm more happy at the fact that this table's clean more than I actually got a lot of progress done into the mock today. But one more reason why I did clean off this table was because that pretty soon we're going to be adding in the tile of this whole landing area. This is all going to be tiled in soon. Now, I'm out of light bluish gray tile, so I'm going to have to buy like boatloads of light bluish gray tile. So that's not going to be fun. It's going to be extremely expensive, more than likely, because I'm going to have to get a lot of these 1x6s, or I could get the 2x4s, but those are, I believe those are more expensive than 1x6s. So I might go with 1x6s. But yeah, that's not going to be fun at all to tile this whole area in. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the Star Destroyer back to where it was, and then we can kind of see how the mock looks now, how it's supposed to be. Okay, so I just moved the Star Destroyer. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. If not, it may have been a little bit closer, but yeah, so this is how it's supposed to look, the Star Destroyer here. So now you guys can kind of better envision how this is going to look now that I moved the Star Destroyer. But, you know, again, like I said in last video, we are not doing this side anymore. This is just going to be fully tiled. I'm really glad I did that, because now you can have just, you know, a huge view of this entire mock. Now, regarding to this side not being in, this base plate is going to be built up as a structure. So on this side of the mock, there is going to be some sort of structure on the side. It's just not going to come out, you know, kind of in a U or C shape, whichever way you want to look at it. It's going to be more of an L shape. All right, guys, so I think that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like down below. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That'd be much appreciated. Really, it would be. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, be sure to drop them down below in the comments section. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.